Before we get into today's video, I need to remind everyone to please do your own due diligence. Take everything as entertainment only. I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah, coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.
What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Hold Sell. I hope, of course, you are all well. Following yesterday's video, I tried something a bit different. Talked about building your wealth. Talked about investing now in anything that's going to enhance your future. There is no point having money under the mattress, guys, especially with all the inflation, low interest rates, and X, Y, Z. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. I did it on the basis of me investing in solar panels. These types of videos don't do very well on the whole YouTube algorithm, but I enjoy doing those types of videos, guys. So hope anyone that has checked them out has enjoyed it. Anyone that hasn't, go in, check out the link here. You can go in and check that out. It is a good one, guys. It's just sort of talking about changing your mindset and stuff like that there. But unfortunately, like I said, YouTube algorithm, there's no ways of being able to do any tags to get it sort of pumped up. So unfortunately, those types of videos don't do too well for me. But I'm back covering another hot stock that we've actually talked about on this channel before, and this one did do well in the algorithm, and the reason why it's done well is because this stock is being hot, guys. But before we get into today's video, can I please ask you to like, subscribe, help me grow the channel, guys. We're doing really well. We're nearly 1.7 thousand subscribers. It's crazy, guys, the run that we've had over the last, what are we doing this since really December, so it's been crazy. So thank you very much for that, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, guys, so today's video, we covered this back on June 1st, so it's exactly 1 month ago that we talked about this treat. I talked about my intentions with Vertex Energy, ticker symbol VTNR, and Vertex Energy, we talked about it in the previous video. I'll share the link here. You can go in and have a read about it, listen about it. We talked about sort of the upcoming catalyst. We talked about the actual product itself, the company itself, and all that good stuff, renewable diesel and different bits and bobs. But this video is really just to see how our update has been going on now. In my previous video, I talked about my intentions. It wasn't a long-term hold, not that it possibly couldn't be a long-term hold, but my intentions were to get in and swing this here. We talked about it potentially being able to 10x, a huge rise, and all that good stuff. And anyone that jumped on the dream and copied what I've been doing in terms of swinging in and out of this here will be absolutely delighted, because this thing has throbbed. Let's have a look at the charts, guys. We talked about the stock on the 1st of June, and my plan was, like all the plans with most of these entry points, I try to phase it in, guys, just so I'm trying to average it out. But if we actually just look at it here, so we pulled up this sort of, these two lines is what I drew at the time, just to try and see if there was some sort of channel that we were in. But talked about the thing about these big high risers. It's you don't have any consolidation. You really can use the charts to a certain extent, of course, but the thing's moved up that much. You've no consolidation. You have nothing to really look back on and try and see where levels of support. And we zoom out, it's never been up around these prices, guys. So you can only do so much with the charts. But what you can use, guys, is the MACD, and that's what I use on the swing trades. On the daily chart, it looked to be going up massively on the 1st to 2nd of June. So I was a wee bit hesitant to buy because of the high rises, but thankfully for me, guys, on the 1st of June, if we actually put up the hour chart here, you can actually see here, guys, on the 1st of June, guys, we did have a big rise, but we also had a tank. So I was able to actually open up my position pretty well. And guys, I was in and out of this £10, £15, £20, just stripping, nothing too exciting. And then on the 23rd, guys, at 7:30, we had the big rise that we were hoping for. Again, my average price was about there, 7.70, and then we got this lovely 20% rise in the close of the bell, which was lovely. I just held, seeing the volumes increasing, too volatile. So the small beer I was in, at this stage I had about 30% of my position in free funds, from the profits that I had taken. So I was content just to leave this in. It pulled back, unfortunately, then as the day went on. The next day it shot up, guys, and really it hasn't stopped rising since then. So for the last week, guys, it has done nothing but throb, and my £200, which was in and around 780, got it up another 40%. By this stage, we had our lines drew here. We could see the top of the channel, getting a wee bit weary of it. The MACD started to go down. That's when I pulled out everything but the house money. So at that stage, I had about £80 of free money profits that I gained from the stock. I left that in, and then yesterday, guys, we had our rise. Bear in mind, my average price was in and around that 780, 90, and yesterday, guys, we got our 80%, double up pretty much on that original free cash investment. The £80 became £150, and as it stands, guys, I have about £50 of free money that I've earned left in Vertex Energy. We've got up to the 14. My plan now is just like what I had done, is to try and build up a bit of a channel, and I'm going to keep swinging this. And the reason why I'm going to keep swinging this here, let's have a look at some of the news articles that have come out. So this firstly attracted the attention of me last week on the 25th. We had do option traders know something about Vertex Energy, stock that we don't know. Investors in Vertex Energy pay close attention to the stock based on moves in the options market lately. This is because July 16, 2021, $20 call has some of the highest implied volatility of the quality options today. Now, bear in mind, in my last video, we talked about the price increase by H. Rhinewhite, which said $25 was their price target. Isn't it great benefit that big banks, big companies, institutions can just go, buy this stock, and yeah, we'll just put out a report saying it's worth $30. Naturally, the stock goes up, they have a load of money and they pull out. However, in this scenario, they haven't pulled out, and more people are doing call options, which makes you think that there's still plenty of legs on this trade. So what is implied volatility? Implied volatility shows how much movement in the market is expected in the future. Options with high levels of implied volatility suggest that investors in the underlying stocks are expecting a big move in one direction or the other. It could also mean that there's an event coming up soon that may be a big rally or a huge sell-off. However, implied volatility is only one piece of the puzzle when putting together an options trading strategy. Oftentimes, options traders look for options with high level of implied volatility to sell premium. This is a strategy many seasoned traders use because it captures decay. An expiration, the hope of these traders is that the underlying stock does not move as much as originally expected. From yesterday, Bazinga, usual option activity inside Vertex Energy. On Wednesday, shares of Vertex Energy saw unusual options activity. After the option alert, the stock price moved up to $12.33. And you can see here the sentiment is bearish. Option trade sweep, trade call, expiration date, strike price, volume, and the open interest, guys. The volume is 2684, which is quite high. Extraordinary large volume compared to historical averages is one indication of an unusual options market activity. Volume refers to the total number of contracts traded over at a given time when discussing options market activity. Open interest is the number of unsettled contracts that have been traded but not yet closed by either counterparty. In other words, open interest represents the quantity of contracts that individual parties have written but not yet found a counterparty, i.e. a buyer or a finder or seller for buying them. Options are bullish when a call is purchased at a near ask price or a put is sold at a near bid price. Options are bearish when a call is sold at a near bid price or a put option is bought at a near ask price. Although activity is suggested of these strategies, these observations are made without knowing the investor's true intentions when purchasing these option contracts. An observer cannot be sure if the bettor is playing the contract outright or if they have been hedging a large underlying position in a common stock. For the latter case, the exposure of a large investor has on their short position is commonly stock may be more meaningful than bullish options activity. That's all very interesting. It really makes you think that there's a lot of interest in and around it now. From me, of my exposure, I want to continue riding it, but this could be a bad thing. It could also mean the opposite. It could also mean that they're going to absolutely throw up and they're trying to get in. Something's happening. Something's a brewing, guys. That's for sure with Vertex Energy, no doubt about it. With no our price targets of 25, I have no intentions of being in it probably anywhere around those figures. But because now I'm dealing with house money, like I said, it's about £100 now, 80 to £100 of just pure profits. Doubled my initial investment. I'm happy to leave the house money in. I'm not going to lose it all. I'm pretty confident on that. I'll use the indicators in MACD to try and guide me as best I can. And don't get me wrong, it's not all been a rosy picture over the last month. There's been times where I've sold and I went, it's shot up. You can never time these things, but definitely take your patience. Don't be afraid to hold things, and just try to time it as best you can and try to use your TA, your indicators to try and get the best value, best exit and buy points. Another article that came out is Vertex Energy announces agreement to divest used motor oil collection and recycling assets for 140 million. So we talked about in the last video the renewable diesel. So let's just see what this is all about. Transaction provides for a full balance sheet recapitalization of Vertex. Transaction net proceeds of Vertex provides significant funding for organic and inorganic investments. New pre-treatment Unit 2 expected to reach 75 to 100 million of instrumental run rate by the end of 2023. It goes into more of the detail, guys, but I'll just actually read out what management says. This transaction will achieve several important objectives, the combination of which will advance our strategy of becoming a leader in pure play energy transition company of scale. The president then of CEO of Vertex said, first and foremost, these assets will allow for a recapitalization of our balance sheet, which is always going to be good, guys. And after retiring costly term debt and financial obligations, we expect to bring approximately 90 million of cash into our business at the close of this transaction. So $90 million worth of cash, guys. That is a big news, and you can see why news like that has got the thing going. Perhaps what these guys maybe know about. The big guys inside know exactly when to buy the shares to get rises like this. You know, there's no coincidence this happens. And they go into talking more about the Vertex and, you know, what their plan and strategy is. Like I said, we've talked about a lot of this stuff in the previous video. That's an update on some of the good news. Vertex Energy, guys, in summary for me, has actually still got plenty of legs. We talked about it potentially being a long-term hold. It's not going to be a long-term hold for me just because of what I'm trying to do with my portfolio at the moment. Vertex Energy very much is a swinger for me. I don't plan to hold it long term, but this is really interesting. Really interesting. I expect good gains still over the coming months. I can see me swinging in and out of this, and here, guys, it could very well change. I could grow to love this stock. We'll keep monitoring it. We'll keep updating you on this channel. So it's important to hit the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, guys. Have you joined the journey? Have you got in on this treat a month ago? If you have, I'm sure you are loving the gains just as much as me. It's always that old story. I wish I had more money in it, guys, but these things could go either way. I've been burned on ones and I've won on ones. It's just the way things go. So I just stick to the same plan. I play with, you know, a couple £100, 300 quid, stuff that I don't mind losing. And if I can strip out the money and leave in the house money, hey, that's the best place for me to be in, especially on these types of swing trades. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still in Vertex, still going to be swinging it. Check out the links as well for free trade. I don't want to keep banging on about it, but protect yourself, spread your money across multiple brokers just in case one goes bust, and all that good stuff. So yeah, free trades down there, £200 free share for signing up. You might as well check it out, guys. And that's everything, guys. I'll catch you next week.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Something that happens by chance, I think not.